Crystal Lee reporting for MCM Buzz, and I'm joined here by the legendary Katy Manning. Now Katy is best known for a role as the Doctor's companion in the hit sci-fi series Doctor Who. So Katy, how are you enjoying MCM and Memorabilia Birmingham?
Well, it's lovely, because I've been away for many, many years, and I've come back and done these from time to time, but you forget, how enormous this whole thing is now, and how many spin-offs and how many people, and there's all these new frocks out there, and I get very confused. I don't know who's what where, but visually it's really trippy. I like it. I'm sort of walking around, it's just all this colour and movement and people in wonderful frocks and things.
Well, what do you think about the costumes?
I think they're frightfully creative, darling. I think it's lovely that they're all, I think it's terrific that they're all dressing up. And there's so many amazing costumes out there. It's incredible, because don't forget, when you go back to my time, it's like the other day I was laughing because I was thinking that David Tennant, because the whole new Doctor Who thing, right? He's got like the thing with Branson, the Virgin. Back in my day, it was like, you're going to get 4 and 6 to be on the back of a cornflakes packet. That was exciting. That's how it's changed.
Wow, fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit more about your time in Doctor Who.
Well, basically, I was in it at a time when I went into it where it just been taken over by Barry Letts. They'd just got this huge budget, 3 9pence, to work with special effects. We had no computers, nothing like that. So we were just like, it was like people would go away to make the music that you just press a button now. Right, people would be up all night, angsting over it, and the next day they come in and we got it, and you'd hear ding, 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 that all night trying to get that. That's what people forget now. You press a button, there it is, ba-boom. So it was all, we were working with special effects. I was the first person to be tested on CSO, which you now call blue screen, green screen.
Yeah.
Well, it was blue, green. We tested all that. So I was one of the first to ever work with that, because they were actually testing. I know, she's going, my God, this woman's so old. But now it hasn't. But it used to be colour separation overlay. Anyway, we used to do all that. It was so different, and then it got its first cult following. And John and I arrived somewhere, and we were sort of mobbed, and I went, what are they doing? Why are all those people there? And that was because, suddenly it had got this 75% older rating rather than just children, which it initially was. And so it was a very exciting time to be in it. So many changes, the army, they used real army as opposed to those sort of, Banana Republic, very early ones in the sort of paper hats and safari suits. It really was. It was a very creative time to be in something like that. I mean, who knew, and all these years later, that it would be what it still is. I mean, we couldn't, when people took it from me, so let's say when Liz took over and it went on from there, they knew they were in a successful show. John and I just got to the stage where had grown to success. So for us, it was such a shock that people were going mad and screaming and getting frightfully excited about it all.
Sounds fantastic. Well, you very recently you had a guest reappearance in.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Sarah Jane.
Yes, they brought back Jo, which was lovely because they brought her back with 13 grandchildren and 7 children that she just dropped at the side of mountains and called them, Santiago, the lovely Finn James. What a great looking grandson. And I love the fact she chained herself to Robert Mugabe. She'd been, down the Yangtze in a barrel. I mean, she was one of these women that, she was there saving this planet. And it was, I think Russell was so clever to give her that life that she'd gone on to, from sort of travelling in time and space to actually something she was passionate about. She was saving this planet, and she was still doing it with all these grandchildren, none of whom had ever been to school. So I kind of like the fact she was a very cool grandmother. In fact, the kids on the thing call me Granny Groove. Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Well, what do you think of Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor?
I think he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, when it started again, I stopped watching it, to be honest with you. Also, one is working, one isn't able to see it, and going back. Now you get much more opportunity because of the way you can get things on computer. When it came back with Chris Eccleston, I literally cheered. And Rob Shearman, who wrote the Dalek story. I know too much, don't I? Rob Shearman, who wrote the Dalek story, to me, brought the Daleks back to where I wanted them to be. I like that metal threat. I thought that was brilliant. And so Chris Eccleston really, and of course lovely, I'm going to go blank on her name, but it was Rose Tyler. I know exactly who she
Billie
is.
Piper.
Billie Piper, who I thought was brilliant casting. It's all about scripts. The scripts have been fantastic. Then when, of course, David Tennant took over, then when Matt, they've all been superb. Absolutely, you can't say one is better than t'other. Everybody will always have their preferences. In the same, back to all the days of our doctors. And I worked with 3 doctors. I did the first regeneration story. I did.
Fantastic. Well, finally, are you working on anything at the moment?
Yes, if you go to iTunes, you can now, is it download? I don't want to make an ass of myself. You can download, and they're going, he doesn't know the right words. You can download the thing that I wrote. I did a few performances of in America, but I've written a piece called Not a Well Woman, where I play 26 characters. And I recorded it all in real time. And I even wrote a really filthy rap for it, which I'm extremely proud of. And both my children said, Mama, you've really done it for us now. And that's a piece that I put together, wrote myself. I'm doing a lot of Iris Wildtime as a character that travels on a number 22 Putney bus. This is all for Big Finish. So I've been doing Iris for about 8 years, and next weekend she's actually going to physically, because she's always been just a voice, next weekend, or not, in about 3 weeks, I have to manifest her and make her real. She's a naughty girl, our Iris. She's got a bar in the back of the bus, so she knows how to travel. I'm doing a lot more of the Joe Grant sort of stories. And I'm doing another radio series written by Paul Mars. Just finished a play, just about to go and do another play. And there's a couple of things which I can't say, but I'm very, very excited about, which are going to come up very soon, which we always have those things you can't mention, but truly. So it's really busy.
Fantastic, you sound like a very busy girl. Really.
Well, I'm hanging, darling, this is my last hurrah.
Wow.
There's nowhere to go from here, sweetheart, apart from the home for sort of retired and befuddled actors. To sit in a little corner and say, oh yes, I remember, but I can't quite remember when or what.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us today, Katy, and we look forward to seeing everything that you're going to be doing.
Go and download Not a Well Woman, because I think it's going to come as a big surprise to people.
Wow, we look forward to it.
It's not for the faint-hearted, though.
Oh, we'll see. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today, and enjoy the rest of your MCM and Memorabilia Birmingham.
Thank you very much, Crystal.
No problem.